Anne Arundel County Association of Realtors thanks you for your participation in this meeting. As a reminder, all association conferences, meetings, continuing education classes, or any other professional or social gathering must be conducted in full compliance with federal and state antitrust laws. Discussion on any topic suggesting an intent to restrict competition or fix prices is improper. These discussions and topics include individual company policies, pricing, business and customer strategies and practices, including commission amounts or splits. If inappropriate discussions occur at any association meeting, continuing education class, or any other professional or social gathering, all members present must openly disassociate themselves from such discussions. The instructor or chairman must make every effort to immediately end any such discussions. If such discussions occur at an informal or social gathering, please bring it to the immediate attention of the association staff.
And please note that the views, the opinions, and information that is shared during this program are those of us, and they are not of AACAR. AACAR is not reviewed, edited, or verified, or approved the content of this program. They're not responsible for the accuracy, that's on us, or the completeness of the information. Please use your own professional judgment and consult appropriate advisors when needed. And with that said, welcome everyone. Welcome. Ruth and Michael will be sharing with us how they conduct and what they do to prepare for open houses. But before we do that, I'm excited because they're both what those of us who are older would call new to the market and new to our industry. And so it's always fun to hear what newer agents do to build their business. So Ruth, tell us a little bit about you.
Okay, well, I'm Ruth and I'm with Long and Foster, and I have been an agent for just almost 3 years now. So I needed a whole sphere, and where was I going to get it? So everybody said open houses. So the first couple open houses I did, I was like a deer in headlights. They throw you out there and you're just like, oh my goodness. So then after many classes and reaching out to other agents, I learned the best way is just to be yourself and natural and just have like real conversations there, not necessarily be there for the house if they have them, but a lot of times they just want to get to know you. So I go with a whole buffet of stuff. And am I supposed to show this? Because I have it
Not
all
yet.
up.
We'll get into that in
Okay.
a little bit because we want to meet Michael next.
Okay. And
Michael,
so,
tell us
yeah, that's what I do. Just been doing open houses. As Christine said, I do sometimes three a weekend.
that's amazing. Good for
Hmm.
you.
So,
Michael, tell us a little bit about you.
Okay, well, my name is Michael Francis. I'm with Century 21 New Millennium, and I've been doing this since 2024, so about 2.5 years at this point. When I first started out, after my initial kind of training classes and that sort of thing, I began doing open houses. I tried to do about one a weekend to sort of get my feet wet and get used to the communities that I was showing, the markets that I was trying to represent and trying to become more knowledgeable in, selecting a variety of properties to do open houses in. So one weekend it might be a condo, one it might be a standalone unit. Um, Trying to do several different neighborhoods so I could quickly increase my knowledge of neighborhoods, knowledge of different property types, and trying to build up a contact base since I was also new to the industry and not really sure what do I do, where do I go to get leads, where do I go to get any kind of business coming in. So that was one method that I used, and still use, to try to build up quite a few contacts and try to build some relationships from. I started out in Georgia, actually, and now I am also licensed in Maryland. So
Okay,
that's my story.
that's quite a drive, Georgia to
A
Maryland.
little bit, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I'll see that. I'll show you property in 10 hours. Okay, yeah. All right, well, good. Thanks for that. So we were going to cover, we want to start off with marketing, how you market the open house, what you do to prep for that. Ruth, you want to tell us what you do?
well, I just try to grab whatever. I'm not too particular as far as what open house. I try to do it convenient, and if there's multiple ones, time it out. But once I get one from the office, I do research the neighborhood and pull, resources from the area that will be helpful to them. As far as marketing, we do have a marketing. person in our office that helps us make social media posts and blast that out. I send out text and emails if there's people in my sphere that I think would be interested or in the neighborhood. I do have these little door hangers that we can print out, and sometimes if it's going to be a neighborhood, I can walk and hang them on the mailboxes, inviting the neighbors. I'll do that.
Okay, Michael.
Well, I'll echo some of those and add a little on. I do like the idea of trying to walk the neighborhood a little bit. If I can do it a few days in advance, trying to go several up and down from the property and of course across the street, trying to either leave some information like a hanger or a Popeye, or even talk to them to see, okay, we're having this open house. Can you suggest it to anybody? Do you know anybody that may be interested in coming by? And I try to do that 2 to 3 days in advance of the open house. That way they have time to blast it out to anybody that they may know. If I go the day before, it may not necessarily be helpful. It's also useful for me trying to do a check-in on the property itself and make sure that it's in good shape to show. So really that the property can put its best foot forward in terms of an appearance for everybody. On social media, what I try to do is have some sort of flyer ready to post along with other communication types that I can then stagger out over several days. So I may have the flyer ready and I posted it on my Facebook business feed here. And then on Wednesday, I may have something that's going to Instagram to populate as a story there. On Thursday, I may have a different type of Facebook feed or Facebook post that's going into, say, different groups, like neighborhood groups in the area. I may also have something ready that's able to go into other apps like Nextdoor or other groups where I could post something and it's free to be able to post it. Because I know that's another concern for agents is everything is costing me money and I'm not making any money yet. How can I get this out there? There are free ways that it can be done. I use Nextdoor. I use Facebook groups. I use Instagram. If you are feeling pretty good with YouTube, you can make that yourself as well to try to put a little story out there on any channel that you might have if you already have one. But keep doing that each day. Don't just post on Bright and then think, okay, I'm done. It's out there. People will find it. We need to be actively posting on it each day for several days if possible. Typically, if I don't have the open house planned by Tuesday or so, I'm going to run into trouble and I'm going to see a lower turnout. So I want to have that flyer and those sort of publications and a plan ready to push by about Tuesday evening so that I can use Wednesday and Thursday and Friday doing that active marketing so that when it comes time for the open house on Saturday or Sunday, I'm not just sitting there for 3 hours and I get maybe one person. I can get multiple people in, and I can also try to find out, okay, where did they come from? I think you're muted.
Thank you. I'm muted because the dog was barking. Sorry. Do you ever have a loan officer with you at the open house? Either of you? Have you done that yet? Because I've seen that quite a bit.
I once in a while the loan officer will come with me, but I do like collect stuff. So I always have their information. So like for one of them, they have bags, like a little bag, coffee mug, business cards. So if they do need loan officer information, I give that to them with, a little brochure in there, ready to go with a gift.
I haven't necessarily had any with me at the open house itself. I do have contact information for a couple if turns out during the conversation with the potential buyer that they are in need of it. I try to put together QR codes and then just have them laid out near where I'm collecting information so that, okay, you need a loan officer. Here's a couple right here that you can check out. I try to have a couple so that's not making sure that I am intentionally favoring one over the other because I'm always cognizant of that as well. Um, but I try to have some QR codes there so that they can then scan their information and it takes it right to them to be able to try and pursue that sort of information.
Jody or Tim, either one of you want to jump in as loan officers and what you can do or what you do to help?
Yeah, I would love to jump in on that. I actually I try to go with my agents on open houses as much as I can. It's always good, I think, to have other people, especially if it's a busy open house. And really, I feel my role is just to, help meet and greet, if nothing else. And if there are questions, definitely jump in. And we bring in some tools like we have a QR code where you can sign in via that and they can enter that data if they're willing to do that. Then it, gets shared with everybody so that we have electronic memory of who they are. But yeah, just being there to help. Usually, I don't find that they necessarily ask specific questions, but if, you can always help somebody with a question if they need it.
Yeah, same here. I think the primary role there is support, right? Like you said, like meet and greet people, answer whatever financial questions they may have. The most popular question is where are rates right now, kind of thing. Um, being
Always the
able
most
to just
popular.
answer. No, I mean that is on the top of everybody's mind, right? So that's the goal there is just to support and add a little bit of value. Certainly not take over or answer questions that are not in our purview.
Something we didn't mention in this outline, but it comes to mind right now is safety. And I always felt like having a loan officer with me was
Yes,
a point of
100%.
safety. There are two of us there. So
Yes.
I think we all need to help each other remind all of us that safety is an important issue. Um, I personally prefer not to do them alone if the house is not extremely visible. Like I did one last weekend alone. It was a townhouse and windows everywhere, and I felt very comfortable. Neighbors were very active, but just keep safe. I want everyone to keep safety as a top priority. Um, how do you engage with people coming in? There are so many different ways to do it. There are a welcome to the home and you stop and you let them explore, or there's you lead them around. And how do you determine, Ruth, what you're going to do?
Well, I would also love to hear some of the experienced agents' ways, but like I said, I just trial and error, and the
Mhm.
best is just to be me. I bring area resources to them. Like we're located in Severna Park, so the B&A trail is just I have like a map that is out. There's things out, whether it's area restaurants, just local resources that will strike up a conversation that is more natural than, oh, why are you out at the open house today? And it just seems to engage conversation naturally. And I bring like I print out neighborhood resource, like all the
Oh,
information. And I usually just do one, and then that will be like, oh, this is really nice. Can you do it for another area? Or I want one. And then that's when I'm like, well, go ahead and put your email, your contact information, and I'll get one for you.
I
So
like that.
kind of the little bait hook.
A little cheat I used last weekend. Well, I use it every weekend, which is a very pretty glass bowl full of dark chocolate candy. Oh, not just dark chocolate, mixed Hershey's candy. And you'd be surprised how long people will stand around before they ask, "Oh, may I have one?" You're like, "Of course." Um, yeah, well, there was a lot of candy talk last weekend. We stood around that candy bowl a lot. Mike, what do you do? You,
Typically, when I've got an open house and I've got people coming, I don't necessarily do a guided tour of the whole house. I'll meet them at the front door and kind of walk with them over to where I've got the information laid out. Typically, it ends up being the kitchen area or the dining room area. For some reason, those end up seeming, once they've gone through the house, like a great area for having a little more serious conversation of, okay, where are you in your buying process? Have you spoken with other agents? Have you spoken with loan officers? How many have you looked at? What's your timeline? And all those other questions that you want to find out and want to collect information on as part of a general conversation. And typically in that area, I've got my codes laid out for contact. I've got the info sheet available on the neighborhood. I've got the info sheet available on the house that they could take with them. I've got the documents available for the property if they want to look through any of the disclosures while they're there. And so I've got that all kind of laid out in that central area, but I'll typically walk them from the front door to that information area and say, okay, as you walk through upstairs, you're going to see 3 bedrooms and 1.5 bathrooms up there. Downstairs, you're going to see this bonus room. So go ahead, check it out. When you come back to the main floor, then let's talk a little further. So it's kind of a combination between, talking them up as soon as they get in the door and let them look around a little bit on their own so they don't feel either ignored of, okay, well, they didn't talk to me, or, oh my gosh, this person never let my side to actually look. So kind of a little bit of balance in between there. And it also helps you weed out a bit of, okay, are they a serious buyer? Or are they a serious buyer and interested in this property? Or are they just collecting information? All of which are valuable to you as an agent to figure out where can they go, in my, contacts or in my pipeline, in terms of what they're ready for, what they're looking for. So that's how I tend to do it.
Are they a neighbor? I think
Mhm.
neighbors, it's fabulous when neighbors come by, right?
Oh, hey, I
Sometimes
was curious what they'd done with the place. Oh, they added a floor. Okay. Yeah. Mhm.
Rachel, I was going to ask you first if you would introduce yourself and discuss your business, because I think that there are situations where having your information there at an open house could be very beneficial to the people coming through. So share it with everyone.
Sure. I'm Rachel Acevedo. I'm with a company called Frame House, which is a local general contractor. We have a variety of different services, but the most popular one is the preparation to sell program, where we partner with listing agents and their sellers on putting together a scope of repairs that makes sense for return on investment. We'll go in, we'll do the repairs. Because we're a GC, we can do all the things. So if you need carpet, paint, lighting, plumbing, exterior work, windows, roofs, siding, foundation work, well and septic, all the things. And then once we complete the work, we can defer payment to settlement. So from a listing agent perspective, that is the most used service, but we also do custom build. We flip houses, we do new construction, and we have handyman services. I appreciate you giving me the chance to introduce myself, Melanie. So thank you. I did have a question for everybody that's hosting open houses and planning. And Michael, forgive me if you said this at the beginning because I logged in late. But who does an open house, a separate open house for the neighbors right now?
Jody, do you? You raise your hand. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, we typically do like a Thursday or Friday night, right as it's listed, and the agents will hand walk or an invitation for the neighbors to come in and do a preview, in the guise of, bring your best friend to your neighborhood kind of conversation.
And what do you serve? Do you serve something?
We usually will do a little happy hour, something light, just a snack and a beer, a glass of wine or something, and obviously water, sodas, and whatever.
I think that's such an incredible way to build
Yeah.
rapport.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I love that. I hear a lot of agents doing that now, and I'm curious more and more about like how it's going and how do you tee it up and all the things.
Yeah, we've had mixed it just depends on the neighborhood because sometimes you'll get a full house and sometimes you might get one person. It really depends on the neighborhood and how connected they are, I think.
Tia, did you
But
want to say something?
Yeah, no, I just wanted, well, first of all, good morning, everyone. I just wanted to say that's an amazing idea
mhm,
just for the open house and make it, I mean, just for the neighborhood
just
and
for
make
the
it a
neighbors.
bit
Yep,
exclusive for them.
yep,
I think that's something I can kind of get behind. I would love to do that. And it'll give me more of a push to like go out and knock on just the neighbors' doors and say,
right.
we're holding this event for you exclusively. I really, really
Yeah.
like that idea. Thanks
So
for mentioning
here's an
that.
idea that I
Yeah.
haven't done, but I
Mm-hmm.
think is brilliant, is if you're sending anything around to the neighborhood or you're dropping off information,
Mm-hmm.
you can, or especially if you're doing a postcard, you can advertise both the exclusive
Mm,
only for the
right.
neighbors and then the public open. So you have one expense, but you're getting two opportunities to meet people. Christine.
Thank you. I love open houses. I still do them. I'm 21 years in this business, and I think they're super valuable. And I love the Ruth and Michael are sharing what works for them, and I agree with everything they've said. I did one with the neighborhood that I farm, and when right before our listing went live, and it was a weekday evening, and it was sort of set up as like a wine and cheese. Um, this particular house, it was the original owner from 1986 or something like that, and everyone knew this neighbor who moved to assisted living, and so it was well attended and everyone appreciated it. Most of them were just kind of being that nosy neighbor thing, but they also were like, I'm so glad we had this opportunity. And then I did an open house, a regular open house on the weekend, and other neighbors like, I couldn't make this, make the one on Wednesday, but I'm coming, I came through today.
Oh,
So
that's great.
yeah, so I think inviting the neighbors is important. I was able to tap into a friend of mine that was part of that neighborhood Facebook group, which is private, and they posted it for me. So
Oh.
that was helpful too.
That is, yeah. Ruth.
Yeah.
So I love to do the neighbors, and like I said, I have those hangers that I'll say, come, to the neighbors. I'll put it on their mailboxes. But for those that do the specific neighborhood happy hour, open house, I mean, always thinking happy hour. Um, do you talk to the owners and tell them? Because as we said before this meeting started, I'm in the process of selling my own house. And now that I'm in this position, it's very, yeah, you open yourself up. So it's like, oh, all those neighbors are going to be coming in and seeing how I've been living. And so I would think that the owners might want to know that you're having a specific open house just for people around the neighborhood. So.
I think that would be discussed, absolutely discussed.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And they're okay with it, Christine, when you've done them, they're fine.
Yes, they have absolutely embraced that. They thought it was a great idea and something that most agents don't do. So, yep.
Rachel.
Christine, and listening to you talk, it gave me an idea of, they always say, do what you're good at, right? So, hosting events and hosting get-togethers and introducing neighbors to neighbors would be something that I would be good at. But you gave me the idea when you talked about the neighborhood Facebook page. If you got permission from your seller to be able to host that type of event, and then you as the agent could do a Facebook Live showing other neighbors like, hey, this is what we're doing and we're connecting you guys together. So it's almost like you're positioning yourself as the connector of the neighborhood. That's how my brain works. So when you were talking about that, I was like, oh man, that would be such a good idea if you did that.
Yeah, if you don't know Rachel, she is an amazing asset. And I just don't know anyone who knows how to market better than Rachel does. So we're really lucky to have her on today. Thank you.
I agree. Yeah, she is wonderful, and so is her frame house is wonderful. They have a great program. Yeah, we've used them a lot. I mean,
Well,
so
and I would think if your open house, if it's an older house, which you were mentioning the people that had lived there, what, 38 years or something, 40 years. If it's in a house like that, it would be helpful to possibly have a flyer or something from Rachel, because then the person coming into the open house would know there's an asset right there. It wouldn't be as frightening. I wouldn't feel as frightened if I walked in and I could pick up a brochure and say, oh, well, replacing those doors may not be as frightening as I think. Remember how frightening buying and selling a house is, right? It's right there at the very top: death, divorce, and real estate. Anyway, Ruth.
Well, Rachel, do you go to open houses and there for resource, or do you just send quotes to open houses?
So I appreciate you asking that question. It's actually a great one. So in answering your second question first, in sending quotes, we probably wouldn't do that. We would want to set up an appointment with any buyers that are under contract in a house. And the reason why that is because it gets pretty expensive and time consuming when you're just kind of pushing out quotes and going on showing appointments and things like that. Our estimators, typically will work with clients who are either homeowners or going to be the homeowner, if that makes sense. But to answer your first question, I would go to agents' open houses and have these conversations. I was actually raising my hand because something else that's come to light just from engaging with other agents is an idea of incorporating AI into, and I've actually been doing this in my own house, taking pictures of my kitchen and then using Gemini, telling Gemini, and Tim, I know you can speak to this.
Oh, yes.
So please jump in. I'm sorry I missed your thing last weekend. I couldn't be there, but I know you guys crush it every single time. But taking a picture of the kitchen, if the buyer is like, oh man, this kitchen is dated. I wonder what this would look like with the new countertop, or if we painted the cabinets white, you can take a picture of the kitchen, go into Gemini and say, change the color of the cabinets to linen, and change the color, the countertops to blah, blah, blah. You have to be specific with AI so you get like a kind of close product, and always disclaim it's not perfect, but that is a super helpful tool that you can use where if I'm not able to come, you can get help the owner, help the potential owner visualize, because that's the hardest part, is getting these guys to be able to visualize themselves in the space.
I think those of us in the industry, typically, that is one of our innate abilities, but your buyer and sellers, probably not. Michael.
I was going to echo the point about if we're using AI to maybe touch up or improve some of the spaces, absolutely having to disclaim it very, very clearly. I've had cases where, working with other agents, they've included photos that have been either touched up or really, really worked over with AI to do this is how it can be. And we have people coming into the open houses that think, well, okay, it's not as I saw in this picture. It's actually like this. I feel deceived. And now you've got an angry customer there. So I whenever I market, I try actually to use it very sparingly, if at all, in terms of any sort of photos, because I don't want to give the appearance of possibly being deceitful. Since that open house meeting is one where we definitely are trying to establish relationship and establish trust, we want to be very careful about how we're marketing it in that case.
Michael, I've noticed that, but I have appreciated the agents who, in the description of the picture, are telling you that AI was used for the design. I really appreciate that. So let's keep that in mind.
Yeah. Absolutely agree. Yeah. If it's very clearly disclaimed and said out there and shared out there, then we're clear on that. Absolutely.
I'll tell you, there's a house just a few blocks from me. It's an old Sears and Roebuck, and I know the listing agent very well. His first photo that comes up in bright is a dusk photo. I believe AI generated as far as the dusk look. And so you don't see the house very clearly because, as you know, when I said Sears and Roebuck, you know, it's very, very, very old. The second picture is an AI generated update of the home, and it's gorgeous.
Mm.
It states AI generated.
Mhm.
So I think that's really important. Yeah. Tia.
I have a quickie, and I'm doing this because I'm trying to figure out how to put that little hand
Put your
sign up
hand
in the top. So
Well,
this is
it's
my
working.
hand sign. I know. So what do you guys do about the no soliciting signs in the neighborhoods, and does that impact us as door knockers in real estate? And has anybody had that experience where, like, before you enter the neighborhood, you see this no soliciting sign? And does that is that us? Like, can we not, does that mean we can not knock on the door?
Who thinks they have the answer to that one? Pam, do you?
Very curious. I've been
Sometimes
very
Pam's in
curious
a
about
car.
that.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I can't raise my hand either. I'm with Tia and down the unmute button. Actually, there are, I happen to farm a community, Heritage Harbor, 55 plus, and there are no soliciting signs, but there are still lots and lots of open houses done. And I don't know of any agents that have gotten in trouble for doing the open houses. I've done a few. And not to get off track here, and I can touch upon it later, but back to safety. So I won't get off track on that right now, but before the end of the meeting, I'd like to talk about safety for everyone.
I don't think anyone would object if you want to go right now.
Okay. Having been in the business for quite a few years, safety is so important. I would never do an open house by myself ever again. I think nowadays it's not even so much that maybe you're worried about someone coming in and harming you, but there have been where you tell your homeowners, to lock up or take away during an open house the valuables, the jewelry and things. In a 55 plus community, what is probably more common than anything is probably hydrocodone in the primary bedroom medicine cabinet. And that people, and this was years ago that we knew of a lady, and so we had a text, we had emails at that time going back and forth telling where this lady was going, leaving at my open house, and I don't know where she's headed next. And she was a drug addict, and she was coming to the homes to find drugs. We all knew it, and we tried to, inform the police, but she was going from house to house. And some people did find that when they go in the bathroom afterwards, the medicine cabinet was open. So things that I don't know that the newer agents are maybe thinking of, but we know from being in the business a really long time that was happening back then, and we don't know what's happening today because there's a lot of things going on. But I think it's very important to have at least someone else with you, another agent or a spouse, someone to be in the house. My husband goes with me. He's not an agent. He can't open his mouth. He's just sitting there.
I've had my husband with me on his computer. He's an engineer, so he just sits on his computer. That works just fine. Michael, your hand is up. Is it new?
It's actually related to what we were just talking about, in terms of the medications and valuables and such. That's part of the good part of the conversation to have with the sellers as you're getting ready for it. And if you're able to do that, walk through a few days prior to kind of see, all right, take a little bit of video of the place, do a little bit of a real walkthrough as part of your publicity, but also kind of taking the time to see, okay, our valuables locked up, our medicines put away, so that you're more ready when you get there for the actual open house and know, okay, everything is safe, everything's taken care of, and you've got time to address anything that may either be a threat to be taken or something that maybe needs to be cleaned up or touched up, whether it's just taking a broom or a vacuum or trying to patch up anything else in the couple days coming up. And then coming back to what Tia was asking about in terms of walking the neighborhood, um, what I tend to do in the cases where it says no soliciting is I'm not necessarily selling door to door. I'm going to say I'm hosting an event. It's information sharing about an event coming up. That's how I frame it, as opposed to, hey, I'm here to sell something. That helps to get around the idea of, okay, well, you're going door to door to soliciting. No,
Well, I
I'm
like
not.
that. I like
I'm
that.
just
That's
sharing
an
information about an event that's coming up.
yeah, it's an invitation, which
Yep.
yeah, I like that a lot. Christine.
Just a little bit more about safety. I think that we can't talk about it enough sometimes. We are advertising that we're going to be alone in this house for the next couple of hours, and everyone is welcome, the creeps and not the creeps, you know? So we have to go with our gut, you know, also. But I am mentoring a new agent. She happens to be 22 years old and she's beautiful. And she scares the hell out of me right now because she's a target. Like, she is advertising, like, I'm going to an open house with her tomorrow because it's her first listing, and she's advertised the heck out of it, but she's also advertising herself. And we've already done one together where I'm like, you have to have two exits. You have to kind of stay on the main level, know where the front door, unlock the back door, don't park in the driveway because they can block you in, like all these little like tips. And for her, I think she should carry mace or something because it just is frightening that we have to kind of live in this world, but we have to have our guard up. So anyway, that's that.
I'll tell you my secret on where I keep my purse and valuables. I keep them in the oven. I don't think I've ever seen anyone open an oven. I've seen people open a microwave, but I've never seen anyone open an oven. So that's where my purse is hidden. Yeah. But we could do an entire, and we should do an entire session on safety of how to a retired policeman come in and do a half an hour session on safety for realtors. It is for anyone in our industry, not just realtors, but for anyone in our industry. But thank you for sharing that.
Yeah.
We don't have much longer. Post open house follow-up. What does it look like?
Well, say personally, after collecting their info during the open house, which again, I like to use a QR code at this point. I used to use your sign-in sheets and everything, but that almost seems to kind of suck the air out of the room as they're getting there. If they get there, they're really excited to look at the house. Hey, stop for 5 to 7 minutes and fill out this paper sheet or Excel sheet. Or you do it at the end and then they forget all the questions they had or all the interest they had. Whereas it's, okay, scan this code. Okay, we've got your information. I can contact you and do that. 24 hours afterwards, I'll send a follow-up email saying I really enjoyed talking with you yesterday. I will email any documents that are available on Bright for them to review, share a couple more facts. If they had specific questions from the open house, I'll provide answers on those as well. Then 72 hours, I will call and email again to see, okay, what did you think? Did you like it? Did you not like it? How can we improve it? Would you like to move forward on this property? And by that point, if notice I haven't asked them yet, are you already represented? I don't want to ask that question right at the outset when they're there, because the default answer is yes, I am. Because again, if they're coming in, they're nervous about signing on with somebody that they've just met. I want to take time to build the conversation and build the trust before I get in this, hey, are you already represented sort of aspect to take them on as potential client. I want to build trust. And so by doing that, by sending those communications, talking with them at length during the open house, sending the follow-up 24 hours afterwards, sending the follow-up 72 hours afterwards, doing text, call, email if I need to. I'm establishing that I can be trustworthy. I'm establishing that I can be the information expert, and I'm establishing expectations as to what they can get from me if they choose to work with me. And I've given them the information that they need on the property, and hopefully taken first critical steps towards building that relationship. Whether that means they become my client, whether that means they're already signed, but they know somebody else and they can refer. It's all about that relationship building.
That's good. Ruth, do you have a process that you've
No, I
with
mean, yeah,
Christine's
Michael
help?
has it very well thought out, but like I said, I just try to get their contact naturally. And if, yeah, whatever contact I have, I can pretty much go on and find out the address. So between everything, I'll call, follow up, text, sometimes write a handwritten note, just depending on the property and where we were with the conversation. One thing that I do, not at all the open houses, but if one that is busy or yeah, if I have time, is the raffle. If I don't know, like you get an area gift card and it's like, oh, I'm giving this away, $25 gift card, enter. So they all do that. So that's a good way to for sure get their information and to follow up after that. I don't do that every time, but when I'm
And I
feeling
think
like
that
I
works.
have a few extra dollars, I do that.
And I think that works really well with the neighbors too. If you're doing that happy
Yeah.
hour, the neighbors love that. Yeah.
So,
So, well, I want to thank both Michael and Ruth and Tia and Christine for introducing us to them. But before we end, I want to say that I so appreciate, and I want everyone to understand how many members of our membership engagement committee are on and every weekend. So Jody, Tim, and Pam, would you each, Jody, you start and just introduce yourself?
Sure. Thanks, Melanie. I am Jody Hilmar. I'm with Bay Capital Mortgage. I've been in this industry for like 28 years and I'm happy to hear that, just work with folks to help them better understand what's going on in the industry and how to better get out there. It's, ever changing, and I think that's what I love about it. So, Jody Hilmar, thanks.
You. Tim.
Hi, Pam Bathstone.
Oh.
I'm sorry. You went to Tim next. Go
I
ahead.
was gonna
ahead.
I
No,
was gonna
Pam, go ahead.
finish with the president.
Oh, go ahead. Sorry, out of order. Go ahead.
Hi, Tim Malauskas. I manage the Millersville branch of First Home Mortgage. And like Jody, I've been in this business a long time. I feel like, being a part of this membership engagement committee is probably one of the more exciting things that I've done recently because, this call specifically was the brainchild of this group. And I think that there's been an incredible amount of value conveyed over the last, I don't know, so like 8 or 9 Saturdays or so.
Yeah.
It's been really good. So I would encourage you guys, I know you're on this week, but keep logging on because I think there's a lot of really good information to be shared here.
And then I want to finish with Pam, but I want to once again thank Rachel for coming on. I want everyone to just appreciate the asset and knowledge that Rachel has, and she shares all of it. So, Rachel, I appreciate you coming on. Pam,
I couldn't agree more. Rachel
take
is.
us out here, Pam.
Thank you. Rachel is a gem. I appreciate you doing this, Melanie. I know you started this a while ago in our brokerage, and it was fabulous. I was on every Saturday then, and I'm going to continue. This is so much great information that we learn and connect with each other, and we just need to spread the word to our other members in AACAR. So appreciate it. I'm the 2026 president. James Spencer is our president-elect, and his installation will be on December 2nd. So coming on the home stretch here, but very excited, and always these Saturday sessions are fabulous. And thank you, Melanie, for all you do.
Thank you. Well, with that said, we're wrapping up. Oh my gosh. Well, right on time. Actually, a minute late, but really, thank you again to Ruth and Michael. And we need to appreciate and help others appreciate how significant our work is in the community, right? It's the word realtor just doesn't say it all. And lender, mortgage loan officer doesn't say it all. We are helping people end chapters, begin chapters. It's an honor, and we need to keep it up here.